Yeah.
You just had to have friends.
Why are we talking about killing the United States Army soldiers again?
Huh?
Don't you remember
the last few times they saw us? So you admit they didn't do anything to you?
Yeah, fight back.
So where can we go off-road with this forklift and get out of sight?
I can take this forklift anywhere off-road. It's just how far can the forklift go off-road?
Off-roading the forklift. I like this.
Well, just like, we gotta get out of sight. Like,
Right,
we
yeah.
can't fight
only,
them.
Yeah.
It's only going not very fast. So if this thing crashes,
How about
it's not like
just go back to the housing unit?
You guys could definitely go back to the housing unit. You're currently 150 yards away from the warehouse block, and the reason why you're able to see the helicopter is because it's a fucking helicopter. It's kind of hard to miss that, and
I don't know.
your perception rolls were so awesome as to be able to see soldiers standing by it as well. At least the two.
As quiet as this place would be if those blades stopped spinning, they would probably be able to hear our little... even if they didn't hear the engine, they could probably just hear it bumping along down the road.
Okay.
Due to the fact that the blades are still whirring, that would definitely disguise your movement.
Are they whirring? Are they slowing down at all, or are they still just going full bore?
The blades?
I mean,
what are you talking about?
Are they like? They're still moving? Are they like visually slowing down? Because
that's you're not really able to tell. It's
okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'll find out. I'll find out a different way. Cat, go find out.
What?
I was talking to you. I was talking to the kitten.
It has a name.
Yes, the death of us.
No, I gave it an actual name.
So you did.
I think we're gonna turn around and then go hide out in one of the housing units.
We call it Doomy for short.
Okay. Trusty Tony turns that bad boy forklift around, drives back onto the housing unit. The helicopter disappears out of view.
Do any of these housing units have basements, or is that too much to ask?
They're prefab houses.
So none of them
don't
have
basements.
Well, shit.
Not the 84 that you've checked, anyway.
Well, back to searching. Looking for the illustrious basement. Not really.
The one that connects to the underground compound.
Yep. So there's a thing we're not going to be able to light a fire, because I wouldn't want to light a fire with people around.
Knowing our luck, we'd mess it up and the house would catch fire.
There's a joke here I'm missing.
It wouldn't be the first building we burned down.
No, I thought it was going to be something about lighting it up. And blazing.
420?
Lighting it up into a blazing inferno.
Well, I guess we'll just... This house is as good as in.
Once we do get out of sight, like if they're going back to the houses, that's fine, but I would actually mention that I want to take the binoculars and kind of...
We have binoculars. Holy shit.
How does nobody else have a list of things that we... Ugh.
I have a list of things I have. I don't have a list of things you have. God. Are you a keeper now?
I just mean it's the list of things we bought from the store way back when.
From Romero ever so long ago.
We made a point
Anyways.
of you taking a list of that.
And I'm pretty sure I pasted it in Skype way back when.
Yeah, okay.
You pasted it in Skype and we didn't copy it.
Aaron doesn't care. Chris doesn't care. And Jordan, kind of depends.
So I'm taking the binoculars that apparently I have because nobody else remembers.
Yep. It's like, so I'm going to take the we have binoculars?
Hey, cool, we've got binoculars.
What else have you been holding out on us?
That were used a few
I
sessions
don't know.
ago.
There could be, apparently, sleeping bags are a thing everybody else forgot. Yeah. We might also mention we each have a radio.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that one.
The cutting torch that everybody thinks we have lost like 3 times before.
Yes.
It's going to run out of fuel eventually.
So are you Ryan, are you going to like hop off the forklift before it takes back off towards the houses?
Once it gets back far enough, there's somewhere to take some cover, even if that's a bush.
I mean, you could, like, lay down on the grass. It's tall grass. Yeah, this place hasn't been properly maintained for 2 years, so there's plenty of tall grass.
Yeah, I just want to... I'd rather have something a bit more concealing in case I suddenly need it, but yeah, I want to keep an eye on them.
Sure, you can definitely do that. Hopping off the forklift then with the binoculars that
Try
everyone
to
is
see what
by.
they're doing.
Okay, sure.
Because they came for something. And something large enough to take something big out of here.
Sure.
Everyone else rides off. Okay, then. Fletch takes a good look. Why don't you give me another perception plus notice with the distance, binoculars, but you're in a good position. Give me a +2 bonus on that.
That probably won't be enough.
It's not a -1.
Hey, I actually succeeded at something. What do I hear?
What do I hear with these binoculars?
Nothing. Well, you do hear the helicopter. That's still going. Let's see here. In your position, with the binoculars, you're noticing the two soldiers who are standing next to each other pointed away. They're looking towards the warehouse complex. They both appear... they are, like, somewhat alert, but their shoulders are sagging, like they're not standing at full attention. They're both bantering with one another. The one who's nicknamed Zane, with his name tag, he's wielding an M4. The one who's nicknamed Crash is wielding an M4, onto which M203 grenade launcher has been attached. You don't see any others at this time.
Now, from here, would I be able to tell whether the helicopter is still running, like do the blades keep moving, or are they slowing down?
The blades are slowing down. You also do notice that there is a pilot sitting in the cockpit.
Okay, I was going to assume there was one, even if I couldn't see, because neither of them are dressed for it.
Yeah, it's wonderfully windowed enough. It doesn't look like he's got any armor on, just shades, and he's just tapping his fingers on the console.
Of course he's wearing shades.
Yep, just tapping his fingers on the console of the helicopter.
Is his hair perhaps blonde and kind of gelled?
No.
I assume he's wearing a flight helmet.
Yeah.
He's cool enough for shades, not cool enough to not wear the helmet.
Well, that's kind of the thing they use to communicate.
I don't know, man. This guy.
He maintains what he said.
B-movie.
It's another 8 or 9 minutes with Fletch waiting there before another gentleman ends up going down the warehouse complex road into Fletch's sight, given his position, and starts talking to the other two. This one is also clad in full body armor, but he is wielding what appears to be, Fletch has seen a few guns in his day with his photographic memory, the M249 squad automatic weapon. In other words, a light machine gun.
Nice.
Is it too far to attempt to read lips?
Yes, that's a distance.
That's a little disappointing.
And with them positioned there, even with the amazing successes, you are able to see the makes of their weapons, but their speech is such that Fletch just can't handle it. Unless, he's specially trained to, he studied in the jungles of Bangladesh for reading lips.
Of course he did.
He's a rambler, man. He's been all over the place.
He read the lips of his horse that he never really had.
I try not to talk about him.
That's in his mind.
Don't want to talk about him anymore.
At any rate,
Yeah, don't you talk about his horse like that.
They talk for a few minutes, then the soldier walks away and disappears out of view as he heads back down the road.
The other two are still staying there?
Yeah, the other two stand there. They lean towards each other and chat occasionally. You imagine with the helicopter, as the blades continue to slowly spin down, that they have been shouting at one another.
It's tempting to try to sneak up, but I'm not really sure what I would gain other than holes. Speed holes, obviously, but still holes.
Nope. Won't make that joke.
All right, Fletch is there. You other three, on the powerful forklift, roar into the housing complexes.
Hell yeah.
What do you plan on doing?
I don't want the forklift to be out in front of one of the
Hide
houses.
the forklift between houses and then get in houses not directly next to the forklift.
Gonna
But
hide
still
the.
in view.
Yeah, pretty much. Just gonna pull it off. Just gonna pull it off between some of the houses and hope for the best.
Okay.
Taking the keys with me though.
All right.
And when I get in the house, whichever one we decide on, I'm going to flatten myself against the door. Basically. Not door, but the side of the door.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
How long
Just
does
for all
Kathlyn
those-
plan on standing there?
I didn't mean actually like standing, I just meant like sitting near
Okay.
down out of sight from the windows.
All right. You said flatten yourself up against it, so I was like, all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I assume you were about to Sam Fisher somebody from around
I
that
know.
corner.
Like,
Then-
you're gonna give the helicopter a tactical hug or what?
Oh god.
Tactical hugs.
Oh
man.
Trusty Tony's just gonna pop a squat on a. Do these things have a second floor, or are they just one single story?
They're one story.
Well, he was gonna pop a squat on us on the stairs, but since there's no stairs, he's gonna pop a squat in the kitchen, on the kitchen
Yeah.
floor.
Potman?
Potman's gonna try and find somewhere with cover, but a lot of I don't know, range of sight, so we can see if the soldiers or Fletch are coming.
Cover, but
After all.
range of sight.
Like hiding most of himself behind a windowsill.
Okay.
Because, I mean, Fletch is not going to know where they hid.
Sure, with hopefully a window pointed towards the warehouse block so far.
Exactly.
Alright, it's fine. Fletch, another 15 minutes pass. Does not appear as if a situation has changed, but the blades have come to a complete stop. The two soldiers are still standing there. You can see that one of them is tapping his fingers against the gun impatiently, and they're just continuing to banter with each other.
I doubt this will work, but taking the personal radio, I want to start flipping through the channels every few seconds and see if I can hear any type of traffic on them.
Sure. Let me check here. Channels are coming up empty. Either it's radio silence or not close enough, or they're using I don't know.
Yeah, I figured. I didn't expect the military to be operating on civilian bands.
This is a B movie. Of course, he would operate on civilian bands.
And it wouldn't be encrypted.
Yeah. Of course, it would.
Is the back of the helicopter open?
The doors of the helicopter are open, yes.
So they might have taken something out.
Two dudes and a pilot in a gigantic helicopter like that. Unless
Well, there's the pilot, the two guys left to guard this, the one who's might be a supervisor or just another soldier. You can probably assume another 2 or 3 guys.
At the very least. After all,
I'm
while everyone else is
guessing-
just standing and sitting around.
I mean, the helicopter, based on the picture, if it's the same type, is large enough to drive things like Jeeps and Humvees into the back of it.
Yes, that is an
I'm
accurate assessment.
assuming they brought something with them to be able to transport something that they're getting from one of these warehouses, and they went to get it.
Maybe they're going after the crazy yellow stuff. Although you're not here, so I can't really express that to you.
Well, that's the only thing we know about, but that seemed pretty thoroughly
Hey,
built
whoa!
in.
Who said we can't express that to him? We have radios.
Oh yeah. Do these things work?
Oh yeah.
Should we not be talking on these things?
Is that an in-character action?
I was probably going to ask Cat and Potman, should we use these things to talk to him?
Potman shrugs.
I mean, we could.
I mean, what if
It's a
they're
factual
listening?
statement. You could.
What if they're
Potman
listening?
Shrug.
Yeah, but what if they are listening?
Do we want them to listen?
I don't know, do we?
You're not helping.
Eugene, maybe you should use it? They'll
Yeah.
not understand your babble anyway.
Yeah. Eugene, you call Fletch.
Give him some sort of code name or something. You just call yourself what you usually do.
This feels like entrapment.
I mean, what do you expect me to do? They know who.
Of course, they know who you are.
All right, Potman takes the thing.
You each have one. You don't have to take anything.
We all hand him ours.
Don't ruin the mystique, Ryan. Don't ruin it. You might have to make that inventory list available to them again
No
so that they can
kidding.
forget next session. What do we have?
I don't believe it.
Is the food, the med supplies, and the bag.
I got a rock.
We got a rock?
Alright, Potman has a personal radio in hand.
Okay. He says, "Bulldog here. What's the haps?"
While Fletch is flipping through the channels. Bulldog here. What's the haps?
He kind of stares at it for a second. Then they'll say there's another guy here, but they're not really doing anything.
Okay, so we are allowed to talk on these?
Well, it wouldn't matter now, would it? We're already talking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no change.
That's good.
So, what do we do now?
Press the time compression key.
The time compression key.
It's on the radio.
I love the thought of like saying that to Potman and listening to his reaction.
It's the red button on the side of the radio.
Oh, so that's what that is.
I thought that was for bombs.
Okay.
Another 20 minutes of shitty Potman commentary to Fletch later. Fletch. You don't have to simulate it. We get it.
He's just holding the radio button down for 20 minutes.
Guys, is this working?
I think it is.
Just going,
They can hear me through this, can't they? So awkward.
How have we put up with that in the car for like days now?
We're used to
by learning to tune it out. It
don't
sounds
use
like
it for now.
silence to you now.
Oh, okay, so I just changed the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. It is another 20 minutes later of Fletch laying there, resting in the tall grass, fairly obscured. That there is some activity. It is first noticed before Fletch sees anything else that the soldiers who were standing, chatting with each other by the helicopter, mostly at ease, suddenly become far more alert and rigid as they're standing to attention.
Bruce Campbell rounds the corner.
You know, that would be great, but no.
Just stand up in the middle of the field like, son of a bitch!
You know, it's difficult to tell perspective, but the individual, at least in comparison to the two other soldiers that can be seen, is a hulking behemoth. Perhaps the military's version or equivalent of Shaquille O'Neal. Fletch has seen a lot of people in his day of photographic memory. Perhaps 7 feet of streamlined muscle built for kicking ass, encased in urban camouflage armor designed for heavy engagement. With how many successes Fletch ended up getting with the binoculars, decorations are splattered all over the armor, including 2 playing cards, the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades, strapped to the front of his helmet, along with dozens of black tally marks. Along his body are numerous weapons, one of which is the M4 dangling from his shoulder like a child's toy. Hanging from his left hand is a bottle of Evan Williams bourbon whiskey, and he casually lifts to his lips and drinks as he strolls to the soldiers.
I'm gonna be honest, like, I had some suspicions about it before, but I'm pretty sure these guys aren't with the official military anymore.
Do you say that over the radio?
At this point, why not?
Corporal Badass there stops and
The only difference being with what I transmit would not be saying the thing about the military, but it's be saying I don't think these guys are with the actual. The fuck's another word for military?
Armed forces?
These crayons don't go into the normal pack anymore. I don't know. Use whatever.
France?
Yeah.
Crayons?
Their decorations
What
around
happened to the
his helmet
pack?
Oh god.
They became segregated.
Jesus.
Whoa!
They took out all the vivid colors.
Okay. Anyway, we got Corporal Badass and he's doing something.
Fletch can see he has a short discussion with the 2 soldiers, and both the soldiers actually spin towards the helicopter, and they're running towards it rather quickly while Corporal Badass stands there and takes another swig of the bourbon whiskey. They return with what appears to be a large rolled-up sheaf of maybe, like, blueprints, schematics, and each one of them, like, takes a side and, like, rolls it out, like, in front of him so that he can look at it. He stares at it, pointed with, like, is that like a mechanical glove on his right hand? Jabbed at the blueprints?
Oh god, it's Fallout.
Talks to the soldiers. The soldiers offer words back. Their facial expressions are one of confusion mixed with fear. And then they rush off and carry the schematics back to the chopper. While Corporal Badass there stomps off down the road.
And is Fletch relaying all this to us?
In another minute, the 2 soldiers
More or
return
less.
to their stances. They're still a bit rigid. They also appear to be shaking a little bit.
Guys are definitely not official.
So, what all does it look like they're taking?
I don't know, yeah, they just looked at some kind of maybe layout of the warehouses. Maybe a blueprint of something.
Oh, I wish we had that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
So, How do we acquire one if we're going to attempt to acquire one?
That's why I was hoping there were weapons on the helicopter, but I don't see any.
Maybe Fletch could memorize it from a distance using the binoculars.
I'll ask them to hold it up for me.
Hey, hold it up.
No, turn it a little to the left.
Maybe we can. Here's an idea. How about we? No, that's too far.
I mean, the idea of sneaking up came to mind, but it's a long distance to cover and be out in the open.
150 yards.
In the open.
In the open.
I like our odds at staying right where we are.
Yeah, you guys have great odds.
Yeah. You tell us how that works out.
The helicopter blades begin to start spinning again.
Not sure, Chris. Cat might be too big to pull that off.
Take that multiple ways.
And it's only a minute so later where Fletch actually ends up seeing Corporal Badass return alongside the guy carrying the light machine gun. And then there's a third individual whom he has not seen trailing behind Corporal Badass. This guy isn't even wearing a helmet so much as some sort of like cool scarf thing wrapped around his face. Nor is he carrying an assault rifle, just like a smattering of like high-tech electronics. Like his entire what would be like an army backpack. It's instead like he's carrying around like, think of like the Typing of the Dead when they're carrying around like Dreamcast backpack and using the keyboard as their weapon. That's pretty much his walking armament. He's got tech all over him.
Rad.
Like a tech priest.
Oh, praise the Omnisire.
But he's not a cyborg. He's just got like technology and electronics strapped all over his body.
Hey, whoa, he's not a cyborg that we can see.
Is he wearing glasses? Then he's a cyborg.
Wow.
He never asked for this.
Well, you all five of you are bullshitting. They get into the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, the kitten's bullshitting too?
Shit.
And the helicopter lifts off the ground.
Got a
Right.
bad feeling about this.
So do I.
From its position, it heads southwest. And it doesn't fly for very long, because it comes to the stop on the helipad by the two twin towers in the center of the base.
Huh.
Now, there's only two possibilities I see. Either what they were looking for was not here, or they set something up here.
Huh. So, all in favor of going out and picking up Fletch now and then figuring out a plan once we get there?
Sure, I mean, we could plan
That's
on
two.
going to Fletch.
That's two votes for yes, we're out of here. Come on, Potman. All aboard the battle wagon. All
Do we
aboard.
really need to go on the battle wagon? I mean, they're probably still watching.
Oh, the battle way.
Not only that, but if they post guards on the roof, they have height advantage to see us coming.
But battle wagon. Fine. We'll walk this time. And so they walked.
Mm-hmm.
Into the southwest.
You guys are walking towards the Twin Towers?
No, we're walking towards Fletch unless Fletch tells us to do otherwise.
How far away would you say the towers are?
The towers are at least a mile, from where the housing district would be in relation. Like, that's a good, at least for an average walking speed. Maybe 15, 20 minutes, but your group is so much faster.
I mean, I could get there in 3 minutes at a run. Maybe we could forklift closer and then hide it somewhere and sneak up once we get...
These
Within
guys
a
don't want me to.
decent
These guys don't want me to ride the battle wagon, though. You know what? Screw them. We're taking the battle wagon. Executive decision.
Goddamn.
Executive
One vote,
decision meaning
everyone
you're
else is
taking it regardless of
overruled.
whether we come with you or not.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
try to walk out of line of sight of the tower.
Tony's reckless. He only needs one vote to do anything.
His
And
own.
that vote is his.
Exactly.
Heck, it doesn't even have to be his.
Sometimes it's the suits vote.
Okay. Describe the transportation system as you folks are heading through the myriad, housing area with 1,500 houses heading for the 2 7-story, towers located within the epicenter of Fort Drake.
Well, Potman's probably going about half the speed he needs to because he's hyper paranoid about getting spotted.
So, Trusty Tony was going to drive it until he was going to drive it. Well,
Up to the front door.
no, he's reckless, but he's not an idiot. Although the jury's still out on that one.
Not an idiot. Oh man.
Anyway,
Whereas